Feel the waves. Feel the rhythm.
Hey, good morning, good morning. Oh, let's remove this Friday banner here. Hope everybody's doing well. Man, where the hell is it? There you go. All right, guys. So we're seeing price moving up quite heavy here on gold. Actually, we were kind of anticipating this PA. I got caught in a fakie this morning. But, you know, prices are all-time highs right now. Price at all-time highs. We're trading by 37, was that like 37.12? Previous Friday candlestick was the one that kind of gave it away. Oh, let me just unmute. Yeah, all right, perfect. Yeah, so we got previous Friday candle here was the one which kind of gave it away. That price could continue to push up bullish. I mean, look at this Freaky Friday. You see, this was like the volume I was waiting for on Freaky Friday, for price to just keep pushing up bullish. So this kind of came in during the New York session, and we're seeing like follow-throughs here today. So obviously got a bias. I'm going to be looking more for a buy continuations than sells at this point. So gotta wait and see what kind of like PA gets set up here, because we have like a support and we have resistance. So we could end up ranging here for a bit. Maybe get a buy from like this area over here. Maybe price is going to range in between here and then break above, or it could just come up, create support, range a bit more, and then break, continue to the upside. But I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I had a nice simulation yesterday, so we're back on the charts here, ready to slaughter markets. Now it's just all about being patient here towards the end of the month. You know, we got a basically one more week until September ends, and then we gonna go off to October. Man, yeah, I mean, these buys. Yeah, you know, the thing is, like, I was so patient. The whole time. It's just like it got me at the end. The market has a funny way of getting you at the end. Like when you lose your patience, like, god damn, like it really tried today. You know, it really tried today, and it still managed to catch me. Oh, you should have just stuck with the bias, because I was looking for bias predominantly. And then I got faked out here. It's looking pretty good at the moment because, you know, we had clean range down below the support. You know, I even figured about holding a runner. That price could continue pushing because it struggled so much to move up. I was like, come on, man, if you're struggling to move up this much, let's move down then. Then it did one last grab and then it moved up. Classic market, eh? Classic. So I'm thinking maybe take a buy here. It's a pretty tight stop loss though, which is not a bad thing. We'll prepare actually a bigger stop. I don't think I'm going to take this. A 5 minute, my broker doesn't have a bottom wick. A bit strange. I'm going to wait for something a little bit more structured. I'm going to wait for something a little bit. That's also pretty decent right there. But I'm going to wait to see. Because we just got the London session open up. It could just be warming up a bit. So I want to see maybe a little bit more structure here before the break above. Yeah. So we got what's this? We got Woods in the chat today. We got Woot in here. Got Jay, good morning. Nani. Mr. Rashid's in here. Architect Ellie. Seto Trade, Franco, what's up guys? Ricardo, morning, good morning. Yeah, got me. Also, that sell looked so good. I have a bottom wick on the 5 minute on mine. Hey, good morning, Kevin. Just curious about the stop loss. Not on too tight. Say liquidity grab confluence. One more buy. Because we've retraced down, so we could get one more buy. This could be another buy here. Because, you know, like, majority of the moves happen. That's the thing about the London session. Sometimes the moves already happened. So we're just kind of like getting what's left of this move here. Well, we got a potential liquidity grab confluence here for price to shoot up. Still a higher probability for buys than sells at this point. This candle can be the liquidity grab, need to go up. Let's see if it has a retracement or if we can actually start pulling up, you know, re-break those highs and then continue to move on upwards. But I'll be looking for a clean distribution upwards. Of course, I'm not going to be taking too much drawdown on this. So we're going to get a price, a candlestick break above here, and then expect it to just continue running up straight like this. Let's see what it does. London Open, we never really know, you know. London Open right now, it could have the London Open fake out, which is small reversal, deeper reversal down. We already had one small pullback. It's forming like a consolidation reversal here, like on a very low time frame. If you could go on the seconds chart or something. It started to form that right here. Potential reversal confirmation for price to shoot upwards. Come on, let's see what happens. What are we gonna do here, Goldie? Hey, what are you looking for on GJ? Oh, nothing. Nothing is tickling my fancy on GJ. I only got a tickle here for gold. 5 minutes just looking like it wants to push more down. It's getting like a little bit, it's getting a little bit inconsistent here, the PA. So let's just see. I think I'm going to remove this for now. See what happens. I actually wouldn't mind a retracement. Let's get a better retracement. We could get a better retracement than this. Get better retracement than that, and then get like a setup to continue moving up bullish. That'll look nice. What's this? Let's try a short. I'm on a sell. Yeah, I'm downright like 1.6%. Hey, good morning, tall trader. What are we up right now? 0.70%. Trending quite nicely to the upside. Pretty straightforward buys, to be honest, today. Resistance equals support. Thing is, once the buyers start to come back in, this thing is just gonna, you know, we could just see this exuberance again. Oh, what a nice distribution this was. Yeah, currently it is in a sell. There is a small little sell confirmation. But trading against the bullish momentum, you have to be super cautious about this. When you see candlesticks just moving up like that, and you know you're gonna take a sell here, if you see price start to come back up, you really have to manage your risk. I got that buy in time, but played with my feelings and closed it at 37.03. So you got the start of this up movement. The setup looked like yesterday's simulation posted on Discord. Oh yeah, exactly. It looks like the one on the left hand side. The one where the clean range to the downside. Slightly bigger one, slightly a little bit more spread out, but yeah, it looks pretty good. The volume in XAU is crazy. 1 to 2. Oh, nice. Yeah, pretty good volume here, pull stick. All you had to do was buy. Man, if you just took a buy, at least you would have been on the right side. But there were a lot of fake outs though. Looking back at it in hindsight, before the buys happened, there were actually quite a bit of fake outs. That did take some time. Superfly. Got Superfly charts. Boys, Tokyo session just started. Price is about to fall in some hours. What are your opinions? don't know if we should have a channel here for like London session, New York session, Asia session, or just keep it at analysis and trades taken. What do you guys think we should do, chat? For you, it's good like this? I can't remember why we changed it like this. It used to be, I think it used to be like that. We used to have it like London, New York, Asia, but I don't know. I remember changing it back to this for some reason. Can't remember why. It starts maybe it starts pulling up on these previous sellers here now. That becomes a pullback. Seven pips from entry of buy now is no good. I'm wondering whether I should still consider this like a reversal signal down here. I'll wait for it to pull up, see what happens. Just got a new 5-minute candle open. Man, gold is so amazing. So amazing. You know, it's like tier 1 asset gold is. Need to buy some kilos of this. Store it in a safe somewhere for the next 10 years. Can I still get a cookie if I don't sub? No. No cookies for you, sir. Only for the people who sub, they get a cookie. GTA 6 will have crypto. Maybe it will be a good investment. You do gold signals as well? All I do is gold signals. At least, yeah, pretty much. Because GJ doesn't, you know, GJ is just not as fun to trade as gold. It used to be, but yeah, not anymore. There's a very low liquidity on GJ. Yeah, it does, but they're fast. Yes, sir. Because my trades, you know, the whole idea behind my trading is efficiency. So over the years, I've refined my strategy to a point where I can minimize as much unnecessary drawdown that I don't need to have so much drawdown. Because you see, like as a day trader, especially as a scalper, we kind of looking more for that efficiency. Correct? Like if you're a higher time frame trader and you hold your trade like throughout the day, you know, that's a different story. So my entry is at the point right now where it's like as efficient as I can get it. At the end of the day, the market's going to do what it does, you know, but it's at a point where it should be as efficient as possible. So I don't need to sit around too much in trades. I can know fairly quickly if my trade is gonna be a good trade or a bad trade. That's fairly clear to me now, very quickly. I'm thinking maybe like if it starts to form something here, I could look for a buy. Breaks above this resistance to continue moving up bullish. Hey, I'm new to the channel. What's up, Black Shadow? Welcome, welcome. Remember chat, remember drink more water. That's awesome. Do you cut it straight away if it's bad or just let it go hit SL? Kind of depends. You have the option to cut it straight if it's bad. You know, like that's fine. You could do that as well. That's why I use like at least 35% because 35% is already going to be quite a lot of drawdown. So that's when I really don't want to take drawdown. Then I'm going to do like 35%. But I think for situations, other situations you find yourself, you can just accept the full risk and wait on structure to reduce the risk. So just because you're not using 35% to immediately cut doesn't mean that you take the full risk. You know, you can still monitor the trade, and if it starts to give you a hard time like a reversal signal, you could still reduce your stop. So from here to here. So it kind of depends on how the market also behaves, then you can take advantage of it. It's like insurance. So remember we talked a lot about these reversal confirmations. So if you took a sell, for example, right here, and then that happens and it's consolidating right underneath your entry, then you know you could reduce your stop. Instead of having a 28.6 pip stop, you can reduce like 53 pips. It's because the moment a candlestick comes and breaks above these highs, there's a high chance that price is going to continue moving up bullish. And that's kind of what I'm looking for at this moment as well. So we're going to wait for candles here to close. Maybe I can get a buy. Just execution, execution. Show up, execute. You get what you wanted? Awesome. You didn't get what you wanted? Still show up and execute. That is a secret ingredient to success. Because there's a lot more losses than there are wins, generally speaking, when chasing something. So you just gotta be able to see through even through the bad times. Just keep executing. Stay stoic, stay disciplined. Just because your buddies didn't show up doesn't mean that you don't have to show up. You know, if your buddies didn't show up, you gotta give them a call and say, hey bro, this friendship is becoming a liability. No, I'm just joking. Alright, so let's see what happens here. That's a little fakey coming down below support. But it would be nice to create like another support right here like this and then re-break the highs. Get like a little bit of an inverted head and shoulders going. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this anymore. It pushed down quite heavy. Gold rocket. Yo Vic, you having broker issues of late? No, I'm not. What kind of issues are you experiencing? Try getting my friends into trading that don't like it, sadly. Yeah, don't even try, you know. The moment you start talking to people about trading, especially if they don't really know it, they're not that interested, they're not going to be interested. It's like very complicated, you know. For you, it sounds kind of simple. You've been doing it for some time, but the moment you start talking to people about it, you're going to start to realize that nobody actually knows. Nobody knows anything. I had that phase as well, and you know, at some point it just gets it gets tiring. You know, it gets tiring. So you just gotta focus on yourself. Because you know the probabilities that your friends start and continue with it, it's even a lower probability. It's a much lower probability you actually get someone interested in trading. Because I remember the first time someone showed me trading, I was the same exact way. You know, someone showed me trading in class in the middle of we got like a seminar in uni, and my friend was showing me trading. I was like, okay, cool. I knew he was making money from it. I saw him even buy a car with it, but it still didn't click for me. You know, it still didn't click. Are you from Australia? No, sir. It's kind of like forming something here. I want to see how it's going to behave within this region before, just a bit more accumulation before we continue to move up bullish. Down a withdrawal on Thursday, didn't receive, but down one yesterday and it comes up. That's weird. You should definitely speak to the customer service a bit more. You're still friends with that friend? Yeah, sure. But we're not like close buddies, you know. We just kind of know each other. But, you know, every time I see him out, I'm like, yo. Every time I see him at a party or something. Because it's like, he was the guy who introduced me, you know. So for sure, it's like, yeah, I think, you know, in friendships, friends always give you something, you know. Friends always give you something of value. Or they should give you something of value. You know, I have one friend. He's like very down to earth. And, you know, when I'm with him, I don't talk about business. I don't talk about any of that stuff. He's more like very, very chilled. More down to earth. Got another friend, super business oriented. We're talking about corporate things, climbing up the ladder and that sort of thing, and getting better. You know, he does marathons as well, proper in line with just that mindset of grind and getting better. You know, so I think like all your friends should give you some kind of value. Then I have that guy is just like an acquaintance, just somebody that I know, but he gave me a lot of value. You see, it's like the old saying, right? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So eventually, you know, the horse just has to drink for himself. But at least it got led to the water. Do you guys like the new liquid glass on iOS? Got it yesterday. I think it actually looks pretty nice. I like what they did with the wallpapers. They got like that a spatial and depth of field effect on the clock. It's pretty cool. Oh, I'm not taking this buy, by the way. I'm just like waiting. I'm waiting for a bit more structure to be formed here. I think I get a bit more structure. It's kind of look like a small little reversal over here as well. It's like it's not like perfectly textbook like it could have been here, but we got a potential one right here. Potential reversal confirmation to re-break the highs to move up. But we still gotta wait for a little bit more structure. Yeah, I'm not too comfortable with the buy just yet. I would like for price to create first like some kind of a resistance. Oh, doesn't look like it. Man, I wanted a bit more of a structure there before the entry. Would have been so nice because it's like it's coming down quite a bit more here on the 5-minute time frame. See, just bullish candlestick out of nowhere, like bullish exuberance back in. So this is the main thing that I'm trying to catch. So far it looks pretty good. Straight into profit over here. I think you have ICT traders here showing different entries. Yeah, I think sometimes I feel like 80% of traders trade ICT. It's like the most talked about thing. That's how I feel. I could be wrong. It could just be the algorithm showing me that more now. Okay, we are back. Went offline for a minute. November came. I also took the buy at 10.5. Nice. What's that? The thing is, Vic, I believe that you can be profitable with all strategies, but it's strange ICT himself failed miserably in Robin's Cup. Why does he keep... I also wonder, like, why does he keep doing it? Because, you know, it's not the first time. I think he's done it a few times. And then he always fails it. I'm like, why does he keep doing it? See, gold bull market likely to continue in the near term. The gold bull market is likely to continue in the near term. Well, I don't know, such as a continued weakening in the US labor market and structural drivers like worries over Fed's independence are expected to stay bullish for the precious metal in the near term. Just about everything is going right for gold bull market at the minute. How much did it distribute from here to here? About like 38 pips. Might actually even start ranging from this support because we created a support here on the 5-minute. And we got another support right here. Then this whole range becomes like 115 pips. So you could just range in between here for a bit. I would still like to try catch some buys to ATH. What's your thoughts on Patrick Wieland? Don't really have any thoughts about him. You know, maybe form something here, create like a resistance, then create a support. Try get. I want to see like some kind of accumulation of orders. See, the sellers over here got paid out. Very nice move to the downside. Thought this could have been a beautiful reversal confirmation too. Hey, Just Vince, thank you for the sub. PW is off his head. Yeah, why are all us traders degenerates? You know, there's like... got a lot of degenerates. I guess you kind of have to be a degenerate to do this job, right? Otherwise, you're gonna implode. You don't want to implode. Do you trade crypto? No. I don't trade crypto. Man, but I remember in a... Let's go over here. This was in... Let's see what month this is. This was in a... May of 2021. Bro, everybody was talking about crypto. May of 2021, like so many people were looking to buy crypto. You know, price was at like 30K. Price was like 30K. The crypto hype was real. Elon Musk was talking about this. But you know, like Elon doesn't need crypto to go to 100K because it's trading hundreds of millions of dollars, right? No, he needs like some decent pushes here and there to make a good amount of money. But if you look at this, Ben, you know how crazy it is? Like if you're a billionaire, let's put it in perspective. If you're a billionaire, you can rent a private jet for $300,000 for a one-way flight, and that will only be 0.03% of your net worth. How insane is that? Because, you know, like if someone tells you, oh yeah, I just got this private, you know, what about first class? We don't do first class. We're flying private now. Just rented a plane here for like 300K, one-way flight. That's only 0.03% of your net worth. But it sounds like so much money for just a flight. So, you know, like Elon Musk, man, there is like a whole different level to this. So he didn't need the price to go up so much. He just needed a few pushes. And he was not breaking any laws when he was causing a lot more optimism in the market. Technically, you know, he was not breaking any laws. Just say Bitcoin to the moon. You know, get people to pump it in, then he could get out. But during this time, like if you're smart about this, you know, we also predicted this move up here to 60K, and then the big crash down towards like 15K. So we actually even predicted this. You know, we got that on my Instagram. I had a video on it on my YouTube before I had to take it down. But, you know, it's quite obvious because, man, a lot of people are talking about it during this time. And the crypto market was something that, you know, was quite easy because you just had to do the opposite of what majority of people, because at the time, were doing. And then, you know, after 15K, we were sitting there for quite some time. It's only now that we're starting to get more bullish exuberance back in. Its price started moving up again. Pretty nice clean range confirmations here on the left-hand side. You know, clean traffic just using price action. Clean range over here. Price higher break above. Early entries. There's a more like a sure entry over here because we broke above, consolidated, and then continue to break the highs for price to move up. That was at a 32,000. 32,000. Now we're up here by 113K. Why did I have to take it down? I had to take down a lot of my videos. I don't know, YouTube, I think the algorithm had like some kind of new updates. I was getting like a lot of these like terms and conditions, warnings, and then I just decided, let me just take everything down. Avoid like any kind of strikes. There was like some kind of an update there YouTube did. So now I'm uploading all my videos on the WAP database as well. I'd like to see price come down a little bit more, create like some kind of support and then move up. But if I know London, this is probably the range that we're going to be stuck in. We might see one more push to the upside. But I feel like London just popped into a sideways channel here. It's about like 112 pips. So it'd be nice because this is a support that's been formed. Then we could try to get something to move up towards the resistance. Potentially all-time highs again. Yeah, but if you're going to trade crypto, I would say if you're not planning on holding it for the next 10 years, don't even bother taking a position now. It's also what Warren Buffett says. If you're looking at a stock and you're not planning on holding it for the next 10 plus years, don't bother getting into it now. Basically. Because that's the #1 cardinal sin of investment. You're going to put something in now to take it out a year from now when you have some kind of emergency. That's a cardinal sin. Because, you know, you take it out at a loss if you're not prepared to hold it. So whatever it is that you invest in the market, you must just forget about it. Every time I take a trade, I've already accepted that that money is gone. You know, I've accepted that just the same way as like if somebody asked me for money, like, hey, can I can get money for this, or if my money is in control, if I give someone my money, I already accept that that money is gone. So you got 42.2, and that way you're not emotionally attached to it. Alright, so if we start breaking above these highs, I'm looking for a buy for price to continue moving up bullish. Let's see if that can happen. Just waiting for this bulls to come back in. Right now, market's moving a little bit slow. But the bulls could start coming back in a moment. Start getting some candlesticks look like this. Break above, and then just keep running. Got a liquidity grab potential over here. On this 5-minute candlestick, taking out these previous lows. See how it's respecting that 8 SMA as well. We got Kiss of Death Confluence. Look at that. We got 12 seconds, 10 seconds. Candlestick just reflipped here on the... Or it's trying to flip here on the last few seconds. Maybe it's your top... What's your top confirmed liquid candle? Liquid candle, I like liquidity grab confluence, but you know, it's just as simple as seeing as a candle break below a wick like this, expecting an entry on the opposite direction. So you see we got that 8 SMA holding beautifully. Potential liquidity grab on the 5-minute. We're trading with the bullish trend right now. As you can see, price is just moving upwards. So yeah, I still think even this far into the trend, like price can keep moving up. You know, price can always just keep moving up. We saw 0.90%, which I haven't seen in a while as well. I have not seen 0.90% this early in the day. So we are definitely seeing a lot of bullish exuberance. I think we have a pretty good buy here. You know, if you look at the 5-minute time frame, we're also gonna have like a little bit of clean range above these highs. It's gonna be like 35 pips. Check out the Discord analysis. I made crazy profit thanks to TFX concepts. Oh, crazy risk to reward ratio. All thanks to TFX concepts. Let's see. Price came down. Goldspot. Man, yeah, I saw these. I saw this move. This was happening during the Asia session. Like early session. I wasn't even on the charts during this time. Yeah, but we got like price to had a really nice range. True, we got a really nice range. And this was the inception, you know, like price first came down. This was the only bit of structure that you had to plan an idea for any kind of move to the upside. So, you know, you couldn't have taken a buy here because look, there's no structure. Candles are just coming down. And then you start getting a little bit of structure, it starts to get interesting. You know what else you got here? You got a liquidity grab. Confluence down over here too. Yeah, exactly. Fake out candle. You got a fake out candle. And then go long once the price break the highs. This is like a swing entry model. Nice range on the left hand side up towards resistance. And then price just kept moving up. Because now this is just moving up here because of the macro fundamentals. Because there's a lot of bullishness in gold at the moment. So that's how you sometimes can anticipate these kind of levels being broken and price continuing in that direction. Yeah, awesome trade. Goldie's still cooking right now. I try to understand why ICT has such a cult following. I mean, if I said, would you take financial advice from someone who isn't profitable? People would say crazy. Yeah, you know, I think it's like in life, you always got to do 50% of the work. You know, you always got to do 50% of the work. So if you ever hire an expert, you know, let's put like in quotations here. If you hire an expert or like some kind of an advisor, they do 50% and then you do 50%. You know, never be lazy in life, because sometimes, you know, if you go to like a bank, for example, you might make it sound like a very nice investment, but they're just trying to eat some commissions, you know? Or whenever you getting advice, you always got to do like 50% of the work. That's one of the life lessons that I learned. Is no matter how good the title is, you know, people are just people at the end of the day. So you can do anything. You know, it doesn't really matter what the title is. Like, you can literally do anything. Especially in this age of information, you can get access to so much information, and just a little bit good judgment. If you got good judgment skills, you know, you could do 50% of the work. As I said, the greatest skill is always being able to figure it out. It's a different story if you're talking about health and you go to the doctor. You know, that's kind of a different story. But a lot of things you can figure out. So I would say just get the value where you see. If you see that he's giving you some kind of a value, then awesome. You know, the rest of the work is up to you. I'm thinking about taking a buy, even a sooner buy, potentially here at the break of this high by 37.15. But I think my stop loss will be pretty tight. Or where I want to manage my risk. So I reckon I just wait. But there's a potential entry over there. But that does look a lot cleaner. This looks a lot cleaner though. I hope it's not just wicking a lot, because the 5-minute does look kind of wicky. See candlestick close. This is a 5-minute that I'm talking about. Looking kind of wicky over here. Kind of similar thing that happened here. You see, pre-London was also kind of wicky. Kind of wicky right here. And starting to form a little bit more wicks here as well. Got that 8 SMA on our favorite confluence on the 5-minute time frame, right underneath the candlestick. Trying to get the last, potentially the last buys till pre-New York time. Because I believe that the London session has some legs over here. The London Open's got some room here to move. Give us one last decent push. Hey Shalu, good morning. Do you static lot size or adjust according to SL? I adjusted according to the SL. Man, it's accumulating right now, Chad. Like there's so much anticipation. You just feel it. You feel it. You can also see how the candles are behaving here. The other way the candles are just wicking like this. But I see a clean setup on the 1 minute though. 5 minute looks a bit crazy, but and something this 1 minute play here actually looks pretty clean. I think this can be the candle that pushes the 5 minute. We're about to get a new 5 minute open as well. It would be nice for that 5 minute open because the new 5 minute will have more volume to push up too. Now I'm out, kick the shorts. If you take a short right now, you know, it's still kind of scary. Because the moment you start to see drawdown, we could be having the continuation. Yeah, it's time to start breaking above these wicks. I feel like if we can start breaking these wicks here on the left-hand side, gold can attempt to continue to fill this range. Whatever's left on the range there on the 5 minute. It's consolidating. It's gearing up. So this is a point A. So just as we usually speak about, whatever big move that you're about to see next happen in gold, obviously is coming out of this zone right here. Whatever that's gonna be, it's either gonna be a buy or a sell. I think we take the 5 minute low before moving up. The 5 minute low. What low? These lows? Well, we got it's kind of a liquidity grab here. We're gonna wait and see what happens anyway. Because right now it's like 50-50. You know, at this point anything can happen. But if it pushes up, I'm gonna be looking at this as a liquidity grab below here. And then we respect it. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, holy. Here's the volume. Man, the market just woke up out of nowhere. Yeah, I mean, if it really starts pushing up from this point, that's going to look a lot better too. Because it could just easily break these lows. Take out these lows and then dump. But you see, that's why I meant, chat. Did you see how fast that price moved up right now? Moved down right now? It doesn't matter how fast it moves. It's so efficient. It will always stop at these wick breaks if it doesn't want to break the wick. It literally did this in less than a second. That small little dump down. But look how efficient it was. It didn't even break that wick. That's why you have to be patient. You know, every time you think price is going to go somewhere, just wait. Just give yourself a little extra time until you actually get the breaks. Because it doesn't matter how close it comes to breaking. It could just stop. Let's see if we can get price to pull back. Right now it's doing like a shotgun entry model off the previous 5 minute. There's a sell, a counter trend sell over there. Come on, pump it up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Spartans! Massage your accounts. Get your accounts ready. Get your accounts ready here for this move. No, I'm just kidding. This is a trade that I'm going to take. You know, nothing on this channel is financial advice. This is just a trade that I'm thinking about taking. If we break above 37.15, then we could see price continue to move up. Gotta massage those accounts. You know, like how people massage their accounts on a Friday when they've been losing the whole week and they get a $500 account, it's down to like $100, and you're like, okay, gotta massage this account. This is the trade that now is gonna make everything back. Chop Chop City looks like China. That's the only thing I'm worried about is these wicks, because you know when it wicks like this and it breaks highs and pulls down, that's one thing I'm very cautious about usually, because it breaks and pulls down, breaks and pulls down. But with the way we've been moving up already here today, I think price can just keep moving up. Or at least I'm anticipating it to move up. So that's why I'm going to manage my risk in any kind of a drawdown there. Because for a trade like this, man, a trade like this should just keep moving up. How are we closing? Creating a resistance? Oh, wow. All right, so we got in. Oh, we just broke there in the last second. But I'm in. Yeah, now I want to see price continue to move up bullish. Yeah, that's why I thought a trade like this, man, a trade like this, it shouldn't give drawdown. Come on, let's fly, Goldie. All right, guys, stop loss or break even here. Oh, nice. You actually hit TP, but I wanted to hold a bit longer. Just a little bit more, Goldie. It got out. Nice. Man, it hit TP right to the T. When that 5 minute there closed. I didn't manage to get out though yet. Got my stops at break even. How much did it push there? I feel like 20 pips. I don't like the way that 5 minute closed. It closed so bullish, you might say a pullback. I actually get this thing pulled deep, pulled down a bit more. Because it's closed without a top wick on the previous 5 minute there. Where it broke these highs, broke this previous wick highs, and we got some nice range to keep moving up still. From here, there's about 35 pips, and it did about... Yeah, I mean, it still got some legs, still got some room to move up, but... see how this plays out. Ooh, man, I just got stopped out of break even there. Put a magnet on it and some arrows to spike the ass of the candle. Man, it just got me right at break even. Hey, but congratulations, you managed to cash this trade, or if you're still in. Got me there right at BE. Man, classic. God damn. Today's not my day. Oh, I see. Now it moves up. Can't believe it. Holy. Oh my days. Dude, it really got me out of break even. Fucking bitch. Because like, you know the annoying thing is, my first trade of the day, I was so patient. Then I got stuck in the last fucking fake out before price moved up. And then now this is my second trade, and it stops me right at break even before it moves up again. It's like literally attacking me personally. It's like a personal vendetta. It's not wasting any pips. Like the first trade, I basically caught the reversal, the wick reversal, and then oh my days. But hey, congratulations. You also hold it. If you manage to catch this trade. Heartbreaking. Yes, sir. But it's okay. You know, I'm still up for the month here, like 24%. Let's get this one here. What color is this? This color? Gold taking you for a ride? Oh, yes. Let's see, I'm at 1%. Are you going ATH now on gold? That's the thing. Like, it could go to ATH. It's not that far off the ATH. Just needed to push out about 7 more pips from where it was currently sitting there. Gold can play you. I can tell you, this can even drive you over trade and go on spiral. That's true. That's true. I almost over traded. Every time it does something like that, I always feel like over trading. Then I just have to remember that I'm not trading only for myself, but I have to set an example. And then that kind of what also keeps my head a bit more leveled. It's so easy. It's so easy to overtrade when something like that happens. It didn't even like fully hit my main entries break even, but I had it just a little bit in profit. So I think the spread got me out. I also got a small little slippage on that entry too. I should have just waited. Should have waited a bit longer till it actually tapped down there. But you know, what can you do? Just hit the day's target. Nice, nice. Hey, good morning, Glenn. See, got in and out before the pullback. Someone mentioned gambling. Nope, it's statistical edge. Yes. It's just all probabilities. So you know, there was just a higher probability that price would have moved up here. Then it would have moved down. Was at 3% and I'm funded. See, I was just trying to take a sell from the top wick, but I remembered what gold is doing to me when I overtrade. So just close MT5. Yes. Like for me now, I'm just gonna take my next trade. Is gonna be a bit later. As it's the blackjack card counting, but the casino won't kick you out. Exactly. Do I only trade London? No, I trade pre-London, London, and New York. Pre-NY. I don't like the New York session. There's too many red folders there. So today we have Yen Bank Holiday. Interesting. Yen Bank Holiday. Let's see currency strength meter. It should be weak on the yen. Yeah, I've got a weak yen, strong pound today. Oh, Powell is speaking tomorrow. This is going to be super important. Tomorrow we got a major red folder there. Powell is going to be speaking. Let's see. Less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. Gold has surged to a fresh record on fears that the U.S. Federal Reserve will begin loosening its monetary policy, even as its economy remain resilient. Demand for gold looks set to remain well supported in the coming months. The precious metal is the world's oldest inflation hedge, and its appeal looks set to grow as the Federal Reserve appears poised to start another monetary policy loosening cycle. So there you have it, folks. Macro fundamentals with TFX structure confirmations on the technicals, and I think you're gonna find yourself in like really good trades, really nice trades like this. Yeah, I'm waiting him. I will risk 200 on his speech, not more. Well, you might not want to risk more, but the market might have a different idea in mind. You know, if it creates like a lot of volatility, you know, then it's like gonna slip you. But if you're gonna open a separate account for it, then I think that makes sense. Got like a separate account and just put like 200 bucks in there. See if you can get some gold longs. You got Powell speaking tomorrow. I think the next fundamental is unemployment claims. Unemployment claims on Thursday, and then Friday we got core PC price index. Do you think you'll announce new rate cuts this year? 100%. Yeah, I think, you know, if you look at probabilities, they're pretty strong that he will. Right now, I think it's currently sitting at 80%. But it can easily go back to 100% like before. See, now last time I saw it was 80. Now it's at 91.9%. October, then we got, we got October. Oh, the next one's in October 29th. Then we have nothing in November and then December. So we only got October and December for the next FOMC, when we're potentially going to get rate cuts come in. So the next FOMC is in about 37 days. But we're still expecting gold to predominantly be moving up bullish. Let me update this here. 213, 21, 86. All right, nice. Not bad. Not bad so far. Let's see how many trades we've taken this month. Taken about 36 trades. Yeah, I think I'm still gonna try to catch one more trade today. I got some ammo for one more trade. So we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, but that's September so far. So this is basically also the idea here is that price is in this range, right? We could get away with like a buy from here. Now I'm too comfortable about getting the ones a bit later on because London session, I think London could also consolidate this area for pre-New York. For pre-NY. So if you're still holding a runner on this trade, secure like 80%. You know, here about 30 pips. Secure like 80% and then let the rest position run. Because like if we're looking at daily direction, you're going to have a high chance daily direction of these moves happening New York session time. Because New York session typically will give the more daily direction. But for this session, you want to make sure you're securing something. Like most of my runners, you know, when I was doing my back testing, I realized that most of my running trades are happening, or I have a higher probability for them during pre-London or closer to New York session, like pre-NY. You can still get runners during the London session time, but you have like much higher probabilities during these two times. Yeah, I think so far pretty good move anyway. Even if you had like a 16 pip stop loss on here, because that's what I normally do sometimes. I get like a 16 pip stop loss. You know, we spoke about this in the simulation yesterday. Now, will he cut October or December because there was a period he was delaying it? So it can be fun if he misses first one. We can get a good retracement. I would love for him to just get on with it, you know? Yeah, just get on with it. Give us the rate cuts. Let's get a lot more of that volume come in before the December holidays. Just 200 account, yes. That's beautiful, Vic. How did you know it was gonna shoot up cleanly? Yeah, it's because like that's why I mentioned, you know, the way I've refined my strategy is super efficient. Like if I wanted to, I could just only take the trades which are clean like this and avoid all drawdown and just keep it at, you know, any sort of 30%, 35% drawdown on the trades. I could just cut my trades. It's super efficient. Like we all spoke about this yesterday. You're gonna get some versions of the trade go like this, straight up, and then you get different versions of the trade come down, retest like this, and then go up. Then there's another version of this trade where it comes down, it consolidates, and then it breaks the highs to continue moving upwards. So this is already all like visualized, you know, like the market can't do anything more. Oh yeah, we also got another one where it's like where we can get some drawdown risk management to manage risk and drawdown, reduce the stop loss from here to here. So there's only like a certain amount of ways that the market can ever print like some kind of a structure against your entry models. So for me, I got a pretty good probability about this happening, like clean moves like this that don't come down to 35%. So I think it's really nice. So it's like the more you see it happen, you can like anticipate it. And I also see like for a move like this one, specifically like this one, whenever we got like wicks, like it's because most people may be like a bit fearful to get in sooner, like slightly a bit more sooner like this. So there's a better chance you get even a cleaner trade. Because like a regular, if you are not watching this stream, you might not be seeing that entry, right? You might just be seeing wicks in this area. Maybe people are going to see more of the entry happen up over here, because you got clean range. But here it's like kind of confusing. Looks like spaghetti. So there's a less chance of people also getting in this move. And usually the market likes those types of trades too, where it's like it required you not to hesitate to execute. Those are the ones that play out. If you've ever noticed that you have these trades that you take, and then the ones you hesitate on are the ones which play out for you. And then you like, damn, I missed that trade. Shit, I should have executed on that trade. And then you wait, you patiently wait, you get your entry, it's a nice entry, and then it doesn't play out. You know, it's because also the market loves these opportunities where most people would hesitate to get in. So that also kind of made it seem like it was going to push up aggressively. And I know we've all experienced this in the chat. Nugro, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Silver is also flying, heading 245. Oh, wow. Silver is flying. This are not the all-time highs though, right? Let's see if we go back. Yeah, it's not all-time highs. But it does look like it's heading for the all-time highs. Silver does tend to do this quite a bit on these wicks. On these quarterly candles. You can maybe see one push up here. Well, what is this habit with silver creating all-time highs and then pulling down such aggressively? Like happened here on this quarterly, happened here on this quarterly. Right now it looks bullish, but probably like come up there. Maybe on the next quarterly candle in the next 8 days. Break the highs and then flip back down again. But yeah, definitely silver does look quite bullish here. It does look like it's moving up. Yeah, chat. Now we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait and see. This is that London session. Potential London consolidation now. Can you look at Euro USD? No, I think you gotta send a chart. Because we don't trade Euro USD. At least I don't.
We don't do that here.
Like, I don't like Euro pairs. You know, like doing analysis on Euro pairs, I never enjoy doing analysis on Euro pairs. I got personal vendetta out on the Euro. Too many fake outs. Too many whips. Should have just said I was in the trade. A lot of streamers would do that. They should have said, "Oh, no, I'm still in the trade. I didn't get taken out." They got like TV hit. Yeah, wait, let me show you guys. Let's take a buy here. Yeah, so this, see, I took a buy. I took one sell today, and I took one buy. One sell, one buy. So far down for the day. Should have said, oh no, my second account is still in the trade. Oh, let me close that now. Oh, you don't do that.
We don't do that.
It's stupid to do that because, man, in a month you have so many trades you're gonna take. There's no point even feeling emotional about one single trade. It's super irrelevant to your whole trading career. Why don't you like Euro trade? It's because a lot of fake outs. You know, the Euro is heavily manipulated. It gives you 0 pip spreads, but it's heavily manipulated. My trades don't do well in currency pairs, but in BTC, gold, or US oil, they go well. And the risk to reward is also good. So it's okay. If I just trade these 2 to 3 pairs, yes. I think that's the best thing you can do, is just focus on those 2 to 3 pairs. You know, like if you focus on those 2 to 3 pairs, you build a strong psychology with those pairs, it's much more efficient than looking at the next shiny thing. Because let's say if I'm trading gold, right? And then somebody in the chat recommends me to trade USD JPY. You know, the thing is, like, I haven't built confidence to trade USD JPY. So I would have to monitor that for a few months and then start to see how USD JPY moves. But during that whole time, I could be trading gold. I could be trading something that I'm familiar with. So I think that the more you stick with something, the more results that you're going to get. Positive results that you're going to get. So, you know, I started off first with GJ, and then I introduced gold. When GJ stopped, like, I needed some diversity, so I introduced gold. And then I traded gold and GJ for some time, and now I just trade gold. Correct? So there's nothing more that I need from these pairs. Because, like, if you got to think about it this way, you're trying to catch an hourly candlestick. Right? You're trying to catch an hourly candle. So look at the way your pair moves and if it gives you enough volume to catch hourly candles. So you see, for this hourly, look, we've caught the hourly candlestick. The hourly candle has not moved that much. If our entry is right here and the hourly is just moved up to here and now it's retraced down here. So, like, how many moves do you think this hourly had to give you a potential entry? Now think about it that way. We got one concept, this TFX concept. Maybe gave another concept down over here. I don't know. But we're all just trying to catch this hourly candle, especially as intraday traders. Or a lot of the live streamers that you watch on YouTube. Most of them are just trying to catch, like, some kind of an hourly candle. Because let's face it, most of the trades on streams, they don't really last long. And my trades in general also don't really last long. Maybe like 15 minutes max. Sometimes we have trades that lasted long, but in general, just about, you know, like 15 minutes. maybe about like 10-15 minutes. So, you know, 10-15 minutes, that's like an hourly candle. 30 minutes, still an hourly candle. 40 minutes, hourly candle. So we're all just trying to catch an hourly candle when we try and be as objective as possible, you know, despite our strategies for intraday scalpers. Buy gold, 37.13 entry. One pair is enough, and as you say, you learn more about that one pair. Yes. Yeah, you build like some crazy connection. It's like Avatar, you know, in Avatar, you're gonna ride those horses and then you're gonna connect with them. That's how you're gonna connect with gold. You gotta connect with it just like this. You see, connect with it, and then that's it. That's the only horse that you're gonna, you know, that horse, that's gonna be a loyal horse, you know, because that's how gold starts. Gold starts like a vicious dragon for everybody. Oh wow, Avatar. Oh, don't want to open the wrong website here, but gold starts like a vicious dragon like this, correct? Like you're scared of it, you don't know how to approach it. There's a lot of volatility with it until you just jump on that thing, and then you connect with it, you respect it, and it becomes loyal to you. You know, you just stick with it through the times, the good and the bad times, but you don't like shift. You know, a problem with people is they strategy hop a lot. You know, they mentor hop a lot, the strategy hop a lot. So how are you ever gonna build loyalty if you're doing that? You can't build loyalty if you're doing that. So you just gotta stick with what you know. Pick something and just stick with it. Because your 0DD trades on one of the strategy videos. Yes. Yeah, I think if you watch those simulations, you're gonna kind of understand them better. You just watch the simulation on the channel. Hey, Tushar. Doing pretty good, New week up ahead of us, you know. So I think this is gonna be the last week basically of this month. And we could see gold just continue to pull up over here. So let's see what our targets could be. Damn, look at the size of this monthly candle here. This has been like the biggest monthly candle that we've had. Oh wait, let me see. No, that's false. That's false. We had one big candle here in April. So look at how much space we have, like realistically, for price to keep moving up here. You know, it's a pretty big move. We could see 4,000. We could see just shy of 4,000 even by the end of this month. But I would say maybe something a bit more conservative. Let's say like 3,900. 3,900 probably. Oh, but we got 8 days left. But it's definitely within the range. Like 3,900 for a monthly candle would be within the range. Yeah, it doesn't seem so bad actually. But 8 days, we would have to have some serious bullish momentum, eh? But there's a lot of leg room to go up. If you look at the 4 hour, 4 hours looking crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we even talked about this on yesterday's simulation, was how this daily candlestick closed to anticipate some sort of bullish momentum to come in. So this was kind of like the smoking gun for price to continue pushing up bullish. Hey, could you explain today's trades? I joined the stream kind of late. If you already did, let me know, and I'll find it on the live stream or rewind. The idea was like price was moving upwards, and we consolidated here. Like just simply put, price was moving upwards. We consolidated. We got a small little liquidity grab situation that happened here too. on that candlestick. Primarily it was this one we were looking at, and then price consolidated a bit longer, then gave us this additional liquidity grab confluence, and man, that 5 minute just reflip, started breaking the highs here on the 1 minute. And then that's when I got into my trade, when it started breaking above like 37.15, because price was like accumulating over here. So we're anticipating distribution to the upside. And we also got clean range as price was breaking above. We also had clean range here from this wick to this high. You see, that's already been filled up. Look at this, right to the T. It was about like 34, 35 pips. Right to the T here. And then profit taking. So we don't know like if price continues to move past beyond this point. You know, this is some kind of resistance. This is the all-time highs. So I said if you're still holding it, just secure something and then let the rest run. With the consolidation going on here, do you think a gold will push up from here, or would it drop first before pushing up? I mean, there's a lot of speculation, you know, like I don't really like to speculate too much on the market like after I take my trades, because the more you sit on the market and the more you speculate, the more chances that you're going to be wrong, right? So that's why for me, I tend to just focus on when I'm trading. So locked in during my probabilities, and whatever price does next is like none of my business if I'm not in it anymore. That's why I said for me, what I'll do is secure 80% and then just let the rest run. If I think price can continue to move up bullish past these all-time highs. But I think that like the one thing you want to avoid is speculating, you know, like you're speculating too much. Oh, you know, we had some people first say that price needs to come down first and then move up. You know, that's like more speculation. That, okay, you know, you can anticipate that happening if that's part of your entry, but if it doesn't happen, then you're going to look back at it and you're going to say, damn, how could I have caught these buys? You know, because you're speculating. You're speculating the price is going to first to come down and then move up, and then you miss the buys. So you got to ask yourself, like, how could you have caught those buys next time? Let's see, stocks edge up after Trump's visa crackdown, rate outlook in focus. Asian stocks drifted higher and the dollar steadied on Monday, with markets swaying on Federal Reserve monetary policy. While President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown on worker visas kept sentiment in check. India's benchmark index slipped after the Trump administration said on Friday it would ask companies to pay $100,000 for new H-1B worker visas, a blow to the tech sector that relies on skilled workers from India and China. It would ask companies, oh damn, companies got to fork out $100,000 for worker visas. That's like per worker? Per worker, 100 grand? Damn. Yeah, it's a big blow to the tech sector that relies on skilled workers from India and China. Who's gonna pay $100,000? Man, that company like really wants you. That company really wants you. It's gotta become like some kind of a slavery there. $100,000, then you gotta pay it off. Say, this is coming out of your paycheck. Give me your passport. Gonna take it as collateral. Yeah, it's a shame. You know, it happens in Dubai a lot. In the UAE. Get a lot of these people go over there and then they get caught up in these things. Never heard that happen in America though. Rajat, thank you for the sub. America. Yeah, I got price on GJ siren break below support. Right over here. Got like small little shotgun play. Let's see, that daily is up 0.16% right now. I have a range of about 9.5 pips. And you know, gold is just consolidating again. You see what it's doing right now, gold. It's consolidating right underneath the key level. Right underneath a key level like this. Usually when it does that, it's trying to build orders to break. It could just not have enough buying momentum in it. So it's trying to build up some orders over here so that it can break the all-time highs and then move up with volume. So if you look at this, it's the same thing that happened basically for pre-London. You know, pre-London, we were here. It just needed to build up these orders, even fetch liquidity. You see, the market's job is not necessarily to stop you out, or it doesn't necessarily go against you, even though it feels like that sometimes. It's just doing its job, right? It's just trying to fetch liquidity. It's trying to find ways that it can continue moving up bullish. You know, it's trying to find ways that it continue moving up bullish. So you see, we accumulated here. We got some orders in and then triggered some more positions. Maybe you can also think about it in terms of that perspective, like it's triggering you for a sell so that it can move up, which is also correct to say, because, you know, it's also looking for those sellers, because it can't move up if it doesn't have sellers in the market. So I guess you could look at it two ways. You could play a victim about it, or you could just look at it as much as objective as possible. Correct. So, you know, that's what we had happen here. And that's what facilitated this move to the upside. Without getting too technical about it, without getting too smart nose about it, you know, like these smart money concepts traders, they're kind of like smart nose. Or what do you say? Like smart nose. They try and make it sound super complicated. But, you know, as a retail trader, we don't have access to really much unless we do a lot of due diligence, correct? Like a bunch of due diligence, which most people just don't do. But we wouldn't have like all the access to information, because information is like very expensive and we don't have the tools. We don't have the necessary like trading systems to do that kind of due diligence. You know, we just use for the most part MT5, C Trader. Well, it's not like we have Bloomberg terminals and, you know, proper information that's costing a lot of money. So whenever you think about markets, man, I always think about it from a simple perspective, because the moment you start overcomplicate it, you can't compete anymore. Gold making another new high now. Yes, you see it's accumulating so it can break above the highs. Because, you know, the thing about trading as a retail trader is you got to see something in the market happen over and over and over and over again. And it's that repeatable pattern that you're trying to exploit. You're not trying to outsmart anybody, because you can't. You can only exploit the repeatable patterns. So you know what I used to think? The more I was learning, the more money I would make. But it was complete opposite. I was losing so much more and so much more faster. And the losses then became frustrating because I was operating from a lack of information. But at the moment, you think you're operating from a standpoint of information. But it's much further from the truth. So then I was like, okay, you know, I'm just going to get rid of all this complicated rocket science and then just focus on the patterns. The patterns markets does, and the macro fundamentals, really important too. You see, that's why we said reversal confirmation signals. When price does a certain thing, you can expect a certain outcome. You know, because now there's a probability of that happening. And then that's what you use to catch your trades. So you see, as I said, market consolidates, usually next to key levels, when it's trying to build up orders so it can continue moving in that direction. So you just got accumulation and now it's breaking back above. Let's see that distribution here. I have a question. What's the new strategy instead of the shotgun? Shotgun is still part of the strat. If you get shotgun confluence, that's nice. But this is just consolidation breakout. It's not a new strategy. It's the same old strategy, consolidation breakout. Man, imagine this. Still moving up here. I found no trade today. Really, John? Man, price is moving so much. Why didn't you find a trade? You gotta ask yourself, why haven't you found a trade when price is moving so much like this? These are times you should be finding trades. Maybe you have a system that's kind of a bias, you know. Sometimes people have these systems where they have like a lot of bias in them. So days like this, they can't catch a move. Is a good position take a buy since price broke out? No, not now. Now it's in a distribution. Price broke out of this area right here. See, just pay attention to the wicks. You know, if you're in the simulation yesterday, remember why we spoke about these wicks. Pay attention to the wicks. Here, because the wicks, they're gonna tell you a story. I'll upload the video for those who couldn't join. I'm still gonna upload it today. I'm sticking to 20 pips plus risk. I don't see any good setup with it today. Oh, yeah, you see, that's the thing. You're sticking to 20 pips. So you see the market doesn't know this. It doesn't know the difference if your strategy needs 20 pips or 30 pips. You know, it doesn't know this. So you have to adapt that strategy to make sure that you can get into those trades. You know, that's how I would look at it. Just adapt the strategy. Because like sometimes the markets won't give you 16 pips. It won't give you your 20 pips. You know, so how can you still take the trade based off of how price behaves at your entries that you can adapt to the market and still catch the moves to play out? Like, you know, it was the whole idea behind a swing entries as well, because the way like you look about a swing entry is like you have a bigger stop loss, because when volume started coming in the, I think it was in February or in March, man, there were so many good moves that my strategy, I couldn't get a tight stop loss. Remember, like candlesticks, they changed from having 16 pips to having like 30 pip stop loss, 50 pip stop loss. Remember that? Remember that before like when volume started kicking in, I think it was like in February or March, like the candles just got massive. The 5-minute candles are like 30, 50 pips. So how are you going to get 10, 16 pip stop loss? You know, you can't. So you just got to adapt. And if you can't adapt, then you're going to miss like a lot of opportunities. And people are complaining. I don't know if you guys recall that time, but a lot of people are complaining during that time. They're like, man, markets are moving crazy. Can't catch moves. Candles are too big. I haven't taken a trade. I saw people complain on Instagram, I haven't taken a trade in 2 weeks. I'm like, yes, no shit, you know, like, and the thing is, you might not even take a trade for the whole year if you're still anticipating very, very tight stops all the time. All right, I lied. You probably are going to get some few trades, but majority of the time, you're not going to get that trade. Because, man, look at the size of these candles even here today. On the 5-minute candle, that's like 47 pips. Yeah, this is a small little accumulation over here. Got about like 20 pips and a small little accumulation. Hey, Kraken, good morning. Once upon a time in Wicksvilles. Flash manufacturing tomorrow. Pound tomorrow. Powell tomorrow. What I think is going to happen is tomorrow is going to consolidate for the London session until pre-NY, NY. That's kind of what I anticipate because we got some pretty key folders. So the first red folder is coming in about 1 hour 45 minutes into the New York Open. That's flash manufacturing. Then Powell is going to be speaking a little bit further onwards towards the day. So not too worried about this, but pay attention to the wicks, because if you see price consolidating, it's, you know, it's most likely going to be waiting for something big. Got yen bank holiday today. I'm waiting for 6 a.m. Eastern candle to open before I take any more. I think that's pretty smart. You know, we got new hourly candlestick is about to open in about 7 minutes. That's at 5 a.m. candle. Five a.m. Then 6 a.m. candle should have some kind of good moves in it. What is this? How about people then changing their lot size to risk same amount for bigger stops? Is that what you did too? Yeah, same amount for bigger stops. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. I'm always keeping my risk in between like 1 to 1.5%. Sometimes it goes a bit over though. So I focus more on percent. I know some people that focus more on pips, which I've never really understood that. Pips. So, you know, sometimes, yeah, I guess it's like they would catch. I guess it kind of works as well, but yeah, percent is the main thing that I guess you want to focus on. Because, you know, each strategy is like, each entry can be a bit different. Some entries can have a bigger stop loss, tighter stop loss. So you can keep the percent the same. You know, in trading, I'm just always thinking like, what can I control more? I can control the percent most of the time. I can't control the pips. So why would I use pips? I can control drawdown most of the time, but I can't control the profit always. So I always focus on like, what is it that I can control? Because you would be able to control everything. Some things are just out of your control, right? But there's a way that you can plan for that too, but you want to have as much control as possible. When it comes to money, especially when it comes to money, you want to have as much control as possible. Because, you know, the reality is once you have control over your money, you're going to give yourself freedom. Freedom to spend, freedom to not worry so much. But if you don't have control over your money, if your money is controlling you and you're not controlling your money, then you're going to have a very toxic relationship with money. You got to control it. You got to control it. You know, it's like the same way as some people, you know, how they deal with animals. they have to control the animal so they can have a good relationship with the animal. But if your animal controls you, then it can be a very toxic relationship. You know, you can think about the people who tame lions, for example. Correct? It's much better for you to have as much control. Because if you don't, then yeah, I think it could be very dangerous. Or like control wild animals, dogs, wild dogs. It's like the dog whisperer. Like, remember if anybody watched that show, The Dog Whisperer? Man, you gotta be like a money whisperer like that. So you see, that's the thing I love about having a skill set. Because if you have that mindset of always trying to like master what you really do, I see no big difference in between skills, like being a dog whisperer or being a trader or being really good at something else. I always relate it back to trading. You know, that's why you heard me talk about gaming as well. How I relate trading, gaming back to trading. There's always some capacity that you can relate what you're doing in your personal lives back to trading in some capacity. And I think that also comes with a little bit more time. Once you truly start to understand the way the market operates. So you're kind of breaking barriers, you know, because we usually start at a low level energy as traders, and we're always breaking our barriers, getting to higher planes of energy. Because, you know, this is where we start off most of the time. Anxious, a lot of anxiety, it's a low level energy, a lot of uncertainty. Then you break that, get to the next level, and you're getting better each single week, each single month that goes by. You're breaking boundaries of understanding the way markets operate. But that's only if you keep the pressure on. You know, some people don't keep the pressure on. And the unfortunate thing is growth only happens in the pressure. It doesn't happen when things are easy. It only happens when things get difficult. So you keep that pressure on, that's when you start to have your breakthroughs. It's the same way as anything else in life you're going to do. Keep that pressure on as much as possible. Because like this is you hitting resistance, right? You're going to keep hitting the resistance, but keep the pressure on. Eventually it breaks and then you get to the next level. Then you're like, whew, okay, at least now I have that. And the thing is, you're not going back a level. You know, that's why it's important to journal and keep track of your progress, because the last thing you want to do is forget. You know, you're going to forget and go back down a level without even knowing it. You know, the silent killer is not tracking your progress. So just keep doing that. Track your progress, build foundations, break foundations. Again, relating that back to trading. You see how price, we talk about how price was consolidating here as it usually does before breaking a level. It's the same thing like your journey in trading and anything else that you're doing in life. It's the same exact thing. It's the same, you know, when you're in school, I think a lot of people can relate that more like in school. You know, when you're in school and you're trying to really figure something out, and the best skill you're ever going to give yourself is the ability to figure shit out. That's what school is genuinely there to do, is to help you figure shit out, help you develop your research skills, and then execute that. You know, and when we're in school and we're thinking about some kind of a problem, we stay up here for such a while. It really does your head in, but then that's when the growth happens. You're most likely to get the answers over there, not when you're slacking off. Correct? So there's always a build up to things. You know, that's how I love to think about it. Like when you're studying, you study at a low level. You start at a low level, and then the more time you're putting in your studies, once you truly start to lock in as you're preparing for exam, right? There's something a lot of us can relate to, right? That's when you start to have more chances of understanding once you kind of like warm up. But you see, with trading, it happens on such a big scale because you're trading like for that first year. You have to almost be on your game for that whole period because there's so much to learn. So you just got to find yourself like good routines, good disciplines, good concepts, a solid foundation. And anything is possible. Just get yourself a solid foundation. Don't mess this part up. Bro, any trade yet? Yes, I've already taken 2 trades. What is the percent that you target every day? Maybe like 2%. Just get that foundation right, and it frees you to do a lot of other things. In the beginning, it's quite difficult to trust yourself, to trust that the foundation you built is a proper foundation. But put majority of that work in there first, and then just see how it goes. And now considering BE, wait, too much BE recently. This is consolidating again. It's trying to respect about this level to move up bullish. But it could be a reversal confirmation. So it has to respect these lows. If it breaks below support over here by 37.19, could be a potential reversal signal because it just broke above a key level. So you see that same thing that helped gold to move up, consolidate, and then break above could be the same thing that brings price on gold down. So you see how the market mirrors itself. It can mirror itself beautifully right there. Let's see, it starts to break above the highs. Maybe it continues to move up here by 37.21 because it just got a break and a retest previous highs. 37.19 break, retest, continue pushing. Or it respects the highs, breaks these lows, and then comes back into the gulag. Damn, I hope in the future we can visualize a lot, because you know when I say a lot of these things, it's kind of like I try and make it like visual learning, but it's sometimes not easy to get the point across. Like the way I experience, because of my experience in life, it's kind of hard for me to get that across to you. But just trust me, what I'm saying is a secret. It's a secret to success. It's just like, man, it's just hard to get it across sometimes. But you know, I think some people already know this. They already know what I'm saying as well. So, you know, for me, it's always important to just get out to like, you know, 1 or 2 people listening to me. Because I know not everyone's going to listen to me. Right? Not everyone's going to understand what I'm saying. But for those of you who do, that is a secret to success right there. But you must be really good at building foundations. See what's happening. We're about to get another move happen from here because this is a point A in the market right now. This is forming like a good point A. It's about to distribute. It's either going to distribute upwards or it's going to distribute downwards. So it is setting up right now. It is getting ready. Oh, there we go. Reversal confirmation. But damn, in this bullish momentum, let's see what happens next. Let's see what happens. Is it going to be liquidity grab or can we get that reversal? Currently up 0.95% right now. That push down quite heavy. Ooh, man. If you look at the 5-minute, it also took out these 5-minute highs slightly. It took out 5-minute highs by 37.21. Didn't break the highs. Instead, it broke the lows of the accumulation. The only thing I listen to more than you, Vic, is my wife and my personal values. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's good to listen to the wife. And it gives you like a different perspective. You know the best trick that I like to do is sometimes I just voice my opinions. So if you have like a partner or like, you know, some siblings, just voice your opinions out to see if you're really right or wrong. Because a lot of the time when you voice your opinions out, you start to realize that, you know, maybe you could have been wrong, or maybe there's like a different approach to things. So it pays to be always somehow playing the devil's advocate with yourself. Like, you know, you're playing a game with yourself sometimes, because the human psychology is designed in a way that we don't know that it can control us. You know, we have these bad habits that we have. It takes control of you. Bad habits, and it kind of hides a lot of things. You know, for example, a lot of us maybe have good memories of the past when we were younger, but it's because the mind, for example, it has a way of protecting itself from all the bad memories that happened when you were younger. So you tend to romanticize a lot of the times when you're much younger and you're a kid and you enjoyed it so much. So that's just one example of how the mind can play tricks on you without you even knowing. Correct? And we covered like some of these topics before as well, with like how witnesses in high stress conditions, they always have bad recollections of what actually happened. And then even when they know they're wrong, because the ego comes into play, they stick with that, you know, and then they kind of like lie to themselves. So if you play the devil's advocate, if you're really good at playing the devil's advocate, it's another way for you to break the barrier. Because, you know, I'm trying to show you guys like, how can you level up? You know, it's another way to break the barriers, playing the devil's advocate. First thing we spoke about is keeping the pressure on. Keep the pressure on, that little resistance that you're on, and then always play the devil's advocate. See how you can get to the next level. So that's for me the trick that I like to use sometimes. I like to voice my opinions a lot and then see if I was actually right. You know, because we can convince ourselves so much of something until we actually put it out into the universe, and then we kind of get our answers back to us. And in trading, the way you do that is by taking the position, right? So if you have an idea, right, you have to execute on that idea, because if you don't execute on that idea, and now here's another psychology trick. If you don't do it on a live account, then you're not going to get that same effect that can help you get to the next level. Because with a demo account, a demo kind of like, it makes the resistance a lot stronger. But if it's a live account, you know, you kind of weaken the resistance a little bit more. So you got to take your trades, execute on your positions, and do it on a live account with managing your risk. You know, because that's going to force you to get to the next level. Any new setup? No, we're just kind of watching markets right now. I'm waiting personally for that 6 a.m. candle now. 6 a.m. Eastern candle for my next trade. I don't overtrade. One thing about me, and I pride myself on, is not overtrading. So my first trade was a sell that I took here this morning. I got whipped. Market managed to push me to my to the point where I was not able to wait anymore, because I was looking at this 5-minute range. We had really nice range for price to come down, but the market has a funny way of like pushing you to your limit, to where it's gonna get you right at that last moment before it does the opposite. So that's what happened to me today. I took one sell over here, then I give myself a break. I don't overtrade, and then I came back onto stream, took a buy over here, got stopped out break even. Unfortunately, price moved up. Awesome. Now I'm gonna give myself a small little break, and then I'm gonna take another trade somewhere around here. So you see, if you give yourself space in between your trades like this, you're gonna have a higher chance of becoming profitable, because what you're doing is you're being very stubborn with your money at this point, because you're not letting the market take your money. Remember, the market is not your friend. It is here to take your money. So you have to be very stubborn with your money. And the way I do that is just by sticking to like 1 or 3 trades per day. You know, I don't know about you guys, but I love my money. I love to protect my money. And then the number one rule is to not lose the money. You know what Warren Buffett says? The number one thing is to never lose the money. See, I don't even trade like you, but I'll be sticking around because of these positive gems. Hey, thanks, Vic. Appreciate that, Vic. Yeah, in my whole life, I've only met like maybe... I knew one Victor. And this guy was from... Where is he from? I think he was like from Uzbekistan or something. Don't meet a lot of victors in my life. No, I've met more than one. I've definitely met at least a handful of victors, but not that often. Oh no, he was from Syria. Yeah, now I remember. He was from no, not Syria. Sorry, Serbia. Stick around because you read the chat. Viktorushka. My name in Russian, I think, is like Viktorushka. Oh, Vicha. You can't see MT5? Yeah, nothing much over here. I'm not in any positions. Looks like a liquidity grab. If it wasn't that reversal, instead it looks like pulled up here for potential liquidity grab. So respecting that support. Golden H1 still looks bullish. Yeah, it still looks. We're literally at 1% on the daily right now. Like if you look at the probabilities for buys and sell ideas, there's a higher probability for buys playing out today so far. But we just hit all-time highs. Let's see. Gold prices rise as traders await key US inflation data. Gold prices continue to rise as investor attention turns to Friday personal consumption index data. Last week's announcements from the US Federal Reserve that it would cut rates by 0.25 percentage point initially lifted gold, but prices eased after Powell signaled cautious meeting-by-meeting approach to additional moves. Traders are now looking to Friday's data, which is expected to show cooling inflation. This could reinforce the case for more cuts with geopolitical risks. We haven't had too much on the geopolitical risk front, actually. I think Russia-Ukraine's been kind of quiet. US tariffs and strong central bank buying set to keep prices elevated. Definitely, child. Like, looking more for buys as a play on gold. A lot more of the fundamentals are leaning towards that direction. You really gotta cherry pick the counter trend moves, sells. Remember, like, trading is all a game of buyers and sellers. So it just depends on who's more confident with their position. You know, right now you want to be kind of like team buy. I think for the sellers, there's not a lot of confidence for sells here at the moment. There's just a lot of like speculation on when the counter trend moves can actually be playing out. But there's a huge difference between trading what you see and what you feel. What we see is prices moving up. The journal is green on your side. Let's see, the main concern on the Russia war is now is the evasion of the ONU airspace on Poland and Estonia. Interesting. Evasion of ONU airspace. Speaking about airspaces, I think Qatar is one of the best airlines. I might be wrong, but it's because there's a moment in history when Qatar was flying out cows, so they can. That's the only thing that they were good at was aviation, and they were flying out cows so they could have like food, they could have milk. Check it out, Qatar Airways, the history behind Qatar. Really good aviation history. But guys, what's the difference between wait, what is this? Wait. Damn, I forgot the joke. Something about a cow and 9/11. Oh yeah. What's the difference between a cow and 9/11? Everybody know the joke? Yeah, you can't milk 9/11 for 14 years. Oh, you can't milk a cow. Sorry, my bad. Fuck that up. You can't milk a cow for 14 years. Yeah. Yeah, let's see if this thing actually starts to push up here. We need to break above 37.21 though. That's when the next confirmation would come, with a bit of like a liquidity gap confluence below here. And should become a comedian. Stand-up comedy TFX club. Yeah, shout out to my comedians in the chat. Man, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to be a good comedian. It's not easy. Still talking about 9/11 today, sir. Oh, Lee.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Yeah, the buys are the only play. Break above the highs, liquidity grab confluence. It's the same thing. Oh, you're in this one? Nice. It's the same thing that basically we took down here, guys. That's the same entry. Break of the highs, boom, boom. Price distributed. The accumulation. Looks like instead this time it was a liquidity grab to the downside. Break and retest to break the highs. Still in line with the trend. Definitely not looking, me personally, I'm not looking for sells when we're up this much. They quoted. Yeah, stream is fun to watch. Thank you. One is an animal, one is a date. What do you think about the fact that 95% of day trader are not profitable? Just like a lot of things in life, you know, why, you know, if you have a gold bar, you know, that's why number one is only given to one person, because it would not be valuable, a number one gold medal, if it was split between everybody who run the race. Correct? So yeah, I think it's a pretty valid thing to say. Most people will not get the gold medal. And that's what makes it valuable. And then you sit and you wonder, why is that the case? You know, because life is structured like that. It's only for the select few who choose the path who deserve that. Because majority people, you ever see those pictures of like a bunch of people walking in one direction, and then you have one person or a few people, you know, taking the other direction? Usually like that. Life is usually set like that. So yes, it's a very valid thing. You know, what I think about it is really none of my business. What are you going to do about it? That's what you have to ask yourself. What are you going to do about it? You should be pissed off that that's such a high number and that you're maybe still part of that cluster of people. You know, that should piss you off enough to try and get onto another road. You know, but it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for you to do. You got to do what the 95% of people are not doing. You know, they're not putting in the work, 95% of people. Some people, like, okay, they claim to put the work, and you know, you kind of have to have a lot of things fall into place to also get lucky. I have to admit that like there's certain things that happen that, you know, I wouldn't be here today if a lot of the things in my life didn't play out the way they played out. So there is an element of luck to that as well. It's just the same way as Bill Gates. You know, Bill Gates would not be where he is today if he wasn't at the only university at the time which actually had a computer. You know, so that was also an event that made Bill Gates who he is today. So, you know, but the thing is, the more hard work you put into something, the more luckier you get. That's all I can say. The more you show up, the more lucky you can get. And it's not about being a gambler. You know, some people say, gamblers say you never lose until you quit. But you see, gamblers, they don't try and get better. They just gamble because it's easy to gamble. But it's harder to get better every day. Man, what a beautiful distribution upwards. Psychology of Money is a good book. There's a lot of things that kind of have to happen correctly for you to find success in trading. That's I remember, guys, I keep telling you about that ceiling, and you know how price consolidates, and you got to put the pressure on, and playing the devil's advocate, and being disciplined, and being genuine, and having a plan. These are all the things that you need to do to become successful, you know. So don't half-ass anything. Also, like Pursuit of Happiness, you know, pretty awesome movie if you haven't watched it yet. It's the same concept. You see these patterns in life over and over and over again. Just get really good at studying people. Pursuit of Happiness, that guy in that whole movie, he struggled for the whole movie. And then in the end, it worked out for him. You know, just like superheroes, also in superhero movies, they struggle the whole movie. It's only in the end when things start to get a bit better. My favorite film ever, W film. And you know, it becomes a mindset. It becomes a thing about the impossible becoming the possible. When you get addicted to that feeling, you're always kind of chasing it. So you're always chasing kind of like improvement. Making the impossible feel possible. It's the same thing when you go, oh man, so much bullishness today. Holy. Look at this candle, just push up like 25 pips in 1 minute. Yeah, it's kind of the same psychology trick. If you say that you can't gym today because you're tired, yeah, but then you make the impossible feel possible, that feeling is addictive, right, guys? When you say, oh man, you know, sitting on the couch and you feel tired, you don't want to do it, but then you do it, it's like you made the impossible feel possible. And you get addicted to that feeling. So it's like something you're always chasing. It's like a drug. It's like a good drug. You know, it's what we call a good habit. So you can only choose, either you're going to have good habits or you're going to have bad habits. So for me, being disciplined is a good habit, because I know if I'm disciplined, I can get the result that I want. You know, so again, it's like falling back to that thing, feeling like making the impossible possible. Right? Then you get addicted to these kind of good habits. So you're going to see a lot of it's a lot of psychological manipulation that you have to do with yourself. Because the way the human mind is designed, it's working more against you than in your favor. Sheesh. Where is this volume coming from? Damn. Well, we know where it's coming from, but it's always surprising to see it. Check H4 candle, already up 270 pips. Yeah, this H4 candle is nasty. Monday open said buys. It's up like 312 pips. Sheesh. Because, you know, a lot of people would think price was already topped off, especially at this range. This is that Asia session move. Like, we only got some people here catch this move. Let's see if I can find it. You see, like, Asia session. It's easy for you to think that it's topped off. You know, when you're looking at this trade, when you take a trade here and it's here, it's easy for you to think that it's topped off. But now you can see how far the market can move. It can move so much further than you think. You see this? When you take the trade, you're like, okay, you know, that's done. But you would not really expect all this to happen. Look at this. Look at all of this. Now, imagine this guy. Imagine this guy held this trade this morning. Who is this? Jason. Imagine Jason held this trade this morning. You know, but it's only in hindsight that you see that. Because this trade was literally all the way over here, chat. All the way down over here. And look where price is right now. So you see, it's barriers. Breaking these psychological barriers that we normally give ourselves sometimes. And the more you see it happen is when you start to actually understand it better and build more confidence. The more you see something happen over and over like that. I'm surprised nobody said overbought today, which is a good improvement. I didn't see anybody say price as overbought today, so that's a good improvement, guys. It's a really good improvement because we clearly see that does not exist. Overbought does not exist when price is in momentum. Nobody talked about RSI being overbought or anything like that. Because it's a very bad habit when price is creating all-time highs and moving like this that you're going to think you're going to catch the sell. That's actually how you burn money. Because you know what you're doing now? The brain is tricking you again. You're trying to outsmart the market. So what the brain wants, it wants you to outsmart the market. Because this feels a lot nicer than being disciplined and waiting for only buy confirmations when you see prices in a bullish trend. Right? It feels a lot nicer to have the opportunity to maybe catch that reversal. And we all fall victim to it. You know, I fall victim to it. I fell victim to it today. I thought like, okay, you know, price is struggling. I knew it was going to buy. I spoke about this yesterday in the simulation. I knew price was going to move up. But I was like, okay, you know, we're struggling today. Let me try to get like a quick sell. And then I got humbled for that. You know, so what I'm saying is you're never going to be 100% perfect. But every month, give yourself like, you know, a 10% buffer of like dumb shit mistakes that you can make. You know, like 10%. Because you are going to make a few mistakes. Mistakes are going to happen. When it comes to finances and money, none of this is financial advice, by the way. But when it comes to finances, you are going to make mistakes. You can't always keep finances like so strict. And that's one thing that when you learn that early on, you start to adapt a bit more to the market. Because when I started trading, I thought if I was going to risk $100, I could risk exactly $100. I used to be a penny pincher, literally. You know, if my entry was not exactly at, let's say, 31.50, and it was like at 31.55 or 31.51, I wouldn't take the position. You know, then you become like a penny pincher. But the market is not perfect. Money is not perfect. So sooner we can understand that, the more flexible we can be with our positions. Like, for example, you see this trade that I took here today. I actually got slipped a little bit on this trade. But you see, you don't hesitate. Price had pushed up because it pushed up in the last 5 seconds. Literally executed me in the last 5 seconds. And then it already pushed up. But I still took the trade. That's why I got put out a break even right over here. Right on that wick. You know, but I'm not being a penny pincher. A lot of the times I used to miss a lot of moves because of this. It would come like this and then reverse. Expecting to get the perfect entries. When to enter? Man, I don't know what to tell you now. When the market is like this, I'm testing, but when the 1 minute oversold and get into resistance zone, it can be a good buy zone. As a retracement today, I would caught 3 like this, but didn't execute. Stocks are weak today. VIX is up by 5%. Isn't the VIX that one instrument that just keeps rejecting the lows? 100% hit rate. Oh, let me see what's going on here. Oh, I did get a push. Was just not monitoring this, but you see, we got a buy over here. I know you can't trade the VIX, but man, this is awesome. Look at that. We got the buy actually happen because we made a joke that if you just get a buy anywhere, that VIX is just gonna move up here because it never breaks these lows. Guys, gotta use the bathroom. Be right back. All right, chat. Remember, drink more water. That's a cursed chart. Yeah, it's like that curse from the octopus guy from Pirates of the Caribbean. The Curse of Davy Jones. I think what it was. Yeah, this looks like a cursed chart. Yeah, indeed. It's like that killing spell from Harry Potter. Yes, sir. All right, so we got price move up here. What are you gonna do now? It's 5:34. I'm gonna get the new hourly candlestick open up in 24 minutes. So it looks like this candle has already had one move. Remember we spoke about each hourly candlestick having a move, correct? So this hourly candle has already had one move right here. So that would have been the TFX Concepts entry for the break of these highs. right over here. So that's the only entry that I see that we got in this candle. And what was the stop loss? Yeah, stop loss would have been, could be inside of the range, could be below that whole accumulation. But that was a move. You see, each hourly candle should at least give like one move. And once you understand the frequency of the trades, you are more capable of waiting and being disciplined, because you know it's like the next trade is literally around the corner. But I think the problem is a lot of us sometimes don't know when the next trade is coming, so it's easy to break some rules. So understand the frequency of your trades. You don't want a system which is always giving you setups as well. Correct? You kind of wanna filter it out so you're not always getting a signal. So for me, every 1 hour candle can give, as much as I'm trading the 1 minute time frame, remember, like all these candles here would have to close to create that structure. So that's not just 1 minute. It's like giving a lot of time before move, because majority of the time the market will not do anything. It will move sideways, then have a distribution. Move sideways, then have a distribution. It's not always paying people out. So just remember this. See, like right here, consolidate, pay us out. Consolidate before breaking a resistance, small distribution here. See, those are those small distributions, because success is this. Is this small. The small, the small, the small. But it looks like this over time. You know, so that's what you gotta do, is build good habits of doing a little bit of this, because in the long run, it's gonna look like this. You know, so when you see a lot of successful people, it might to you seem like this, like, damn, they're so rich. But it's a lot of this. It's a lot of these small that creates this. It's the same way. It's like, how you gonna have $1 if you can't bend your back to pick up pennies? You know, so you know, someone can look at you and say, why are you picking up pennies, dude? Why are you wasting your time picking up pennies? You know, they say, all right, show me a way I can have $1 without picking up pennies. You know, most people don't know how to have $1 without picking up pennies. So, you know, get down on the floor and pick up those pennies, because those pennies are going to add up to $1. In the long run, it looks really good. But in the short term, nobody wants to do it. Got to pick those pennies off the ground. Because you see, like this whole year, I've been picking pennies. I've been picking pennies. I'm up for the year 230%. Up for the month 24%. All I'm doing is picking up pennies. But you know, I know a lot of these influencers, they're picking up dollars. Or at least they make it seem like they're picking up dollars. Because they can take in like 50% drawdown, 60% drawdown. But when you look at it, it's like, wow, this guy made 300K. Amazing. But when they take like a losing trade and you hear them make 50% drawdown, you're like, damn, that's a lot of drawdown. That's a big risk. You know, it's not even worth it at that point anymore. Is it worth it to make 300K if your drawdowns can be like 50, 60 plus %? You know, it's just something to think about. Because that's what some traders do. I don't want to mention any names, but that's what some traders do. But you know, that's not trading. It's like, if you ever, I don't know if some of you have money invested in a fund, like a mutual fund. So if you have your money invested in a mutual fund, would you be comfortable knowing if they were giving you back, like, let's say 10% a year, would you be comfortable knowing they were risking 50% of their whole portfolio? You probably would not be in that mutual fund, if we're being honest. If you knew they were risking like 50 plus % or like 30%, you would know how risky it actually is. But you know, because you don't know how mutual funds really make those percentage gains much better than banks would give you. You know, a bank would give you very little % interest a year, correct? But a mutual fund can give you so much more %, but you don't really know how they're making that %. You see, it's not important to you. What's more important to you is making that %. But I think if you knew how they were making that %, maybe you're going to be like very cautious about it. You know, that's how you build judgment when it comes to finding a strategy or method towards trading. That's how you build that judgment. You can only judge a system by its losses. You can't judge a system by its winners. Check my Ethereum trade shared on Discord. Let's see. Bought ETH on daily time frame. RBS. Let's see how it played. Holding with break even. Yeah, some people have more insurance as well, you know. Some people have more insurance because if they risk a lot, maybe they have a lot more insurance behind those risks. Let's see. Swing trade with 0 risk. It's like those old pyramid schemes. People here doubling the money, but in the end, 99% lost money on it. Only the ones just promoting it. Yeah, exactly. It's like Ponzi. Is it called Ponzi scheme? Based off the Italian guy. Ponzi. This guy is like, I think he went to New York and I think he lived in New York at the time, and he was getting a lot of this money from people. Basically, you're getting the money from Tom to pay Bob. You know, Bob interest. And the idea is like not everybody will also request the money all at the same time. But it's an eventual collapse. That system will eventually collapse. It's the same way banking system is. It's the same way our economy is. If you really dig into the way our economy is structured, it is like a Ponzi scheme. You know, like also depending on your country. I think in the US, if you live in US, you're probably insured like $250,000. So worst case scenario, you know, your bank gets liquidated and you're only going to get back like $250,000. Even if you have $11 million in that bank, you're only going to get back $250,000 in case it gets liquidated. In the UK, I think it's about like maybe 80,000 pounds. So it doesn't matter if you're having $100 million in there. If something happens to the bank, you know, sorry, but you're not going to get like 80,000. You can get like $80,000 back. Man, in emerging markets, it's like $5,000. In emerging markets, these are like third world countries. You're going to insure like $5,000. So you see what I mean? Like when you start really digging into a world economy, you can also see it's like a big Ponzi scheme. So money is like something that a lot of people, unfortunately, are not taught about money. So they make a lot of these mistakes. Portugal is 100,000 euro per bank. Per account. Yeah, per bank. Yeah, exactly. Per bank. 100. Oh, in Portugal, it's 100,000 euro. See, that's why people, smart money, people with like billions of dollars, it becomes a problem. You know, money becomes a problem more than anything else. Because like in the beginning, when you don't have money is supposed to solve all the answers. But when you actually start to have a lot of money, there's a lot of problem that comes with money. Like where can you invest it? Where can you move it? Because you can't keep it in a bank, you know? So you got to do stuff like buy gold. And you also can't put a lot of money inside a broker. You know, it'd be insane because some brokers, maybe a whole brokerage liquidity can be like $10 million. Like, I think something like Dominion Markets, for example, right? It's an emergent broker. A lot of you might know it. I think it's like maybe 10 million. It's growing, but I think if someone comes in and puts in like so much money, you know, it doesn't make sense because you're putting more money than what the broker can even facilitate. So it becomes a bit scary. So you can't also move money just in brokers like that. So it becomes like a huge problem, you know? Becomes a huge problem. So you gotta get rid of it. It's like Pablo Emilio Escobar, man, he started digging his money. He started like going into the forest, putting it inside dirt, like putting it inside walls. It's because you can't do anything with it. You can have so much money, you can't do anything with it. Let's see, Black Swan event on Euro Swiss franc 2015 was perfect example. Oh, your broker went bust. Yeah, exactly. You can't put that money in broker either. And that's why I said trading is not the end all and be all. A lot of people think it's the end all and be all, but it's not. Like you're gonna have new challenges. Once you start making a lot more money, you're gonna have new challenges of like how much can you actually put into the account to be on a safe side. You're gonna have to reinvest it in other things. It is not the end all and be all. That's why the goal at the end of the day is to build passive income. And trading is such a beautiful stage to get to that next level to build passive income. You know, like for me, this is still earned income. Still, I got to put in a lot of work to make this money. It's not like an ideal situation. But it is amazing to get you to the point where you can make those moves that you need to make. That's why physical assets are safer, like real estate. Yeah. And gold is really good for wealth preservation. You know, like if you want to buy gold, you can buy like kilos of gold and hold it for next 20 plus years. You're going to pay pretty good insurance for that too. Because, you know, a lot of like, let me give you guys like, also like safety deposit boxes, right? You can't just put gold and everything in a safety deposit bank box in a bank because they're not insured. So you can have gold worth of $100 million in a bank in a safety deposit box, but it's not insured. Most banks don't insure safety deposit boxes. And the worst thing about that is the country ever has a problem, or the bank ever has a problem, the government or the IRS or whatever can actually seize what's inside safety deposit boxes. Like it can become a problem, you know, even getting access to that in worst case scenarios. So yeah, money is a pretty big topic. Money is a pretty big topic. I think nothing on this channel is financial advice. I just gotta keep saying that. You gotta do what you gotta do, but these are problems which are gonna come down the line. Because I know a lot of you are gonna find your success in trading. And the smartest thing to do is never put millions of dollars inside a broker. It's not smart to do that. That's why I always put like a small amount inside my broker. So if I lose that money, you know, worst case scenario, it's okay. Quit yapping already. All right. So I guess you'll figure that out yourself then. I'm going to quit yapping. Then it seems like you know it all. So awesome. You gotta figure it out. See, gold prices soared to fresh record high on September 22nd. See, gold jumped 1.1% as traders bet on 2 more rate cuts. Yeah, we should just keep moving up. Yeah, let me stop yapping. But I hope somebody has actually listened to what I've said. Because, you know, I got some friends who've also found themselves in sticky situations like that because they didn't know. And the last thing you want to do is be a part of that group of people when you're in your 60s and your pension fund can't pay you anymore. And then you're going to wonder, man, I've been depositing money in this pension fund my whole life and now I'm in this situation. You're going to look back at this stream if you remember this stream and you're going to be like, damn, maybe I should have listened to his yap. Because I'm trying to also protect you more from just the trading, the wealth you're accumulating now. I want to show you guys the ways like you can keep your wealth, right? Because it happens. People work their whole lives and pension funds, for example, can't pay them out. It's a big problem. It's the same thing with mutual funds. People overinvest in those and then find out later they've been holding the bag for too long. You know, like people keep all their money in the bank and then bank collapses. Like this happens to people. You know, and those situations are going to really fuck you up. It starts, you know how it's going to start? It's going to start like this. You're going to start making a lot of money in trading. This is your lifestyle, right? But now you're making a lot more money. But this is going to catch up to this. So at the end of the day, you're no different financially speaking from somebody. If you're earning $200,000 a month, you're no different from anybody earning even $1,000 a month. Financially speaking, you're no different. You know, because it just takes for you something to go wrong to put you all the way back down. And that's typically what happens in trading. Your lifestyle is going to increase with your spending naturally. So like keeping the money is going to be quite difficult. And these are important lessons because when you're on the charts and you're taking your trades, it's also like a financial game. You have to get good at managing your book and balancing your books. So you're not spending more than you're making. I made a long TP. Let's see, 37.24. All right, we're back. We're back. We're back. I don't know where the internet went off. But I said, like, if you overtrade, it's the same way as having your lifestyle catch up to how much you're making. So you're spending more than you're making. That's typically what happens when you overtrade, because most days I overtrade, I can even make less money than days I stick to like 1 or 2 trades, for example. I can make less money taking more trades. I can make more money taking less trades. 1.5% down unfunded. That's the point. Get to that place and see from there. Now let's be real. I have $11 million and going to give me 250K because you all messed up. That's crazy. Yeah, you can't do nothing about it. It's also geared, you know, as I'm saying this, I'm also trying to gear you towards being indifferent from money. I don't want you to think of money as this thing that's like a solution, but you need to detach your emotions from money. Because we always have money on a pedestal, but you see, if I start breaking it down like this for you, you start to understand that money isn't shit. So if you don't think, if you're already operating from that mindset that money isn't shit, then you're not emotionally attached to it. It's not that you disrespect it, you're being indifferent from it. So you understand it as a different entity than something you're emotionally attached to. Because that's how you need to be to make the money. You need to understand it first. And then I think these small little things, psychological mindset shifts, actually can help you into becoming a better trader. Because if you care too much about the money, right, you're not confident enough to take any positions. You know, you marry your biases too much, you remove your stop loss, you start forming really bad habits around it. Because we're too emotionally invested into trades. Here's what price is gonna do here. Almost in TP 2 and 3 pips away. All right, yeah. Oh, nice. What lots I take? Man, you gotta stop spamming. I gotta put you in timeout here. Brother, what are your projections for New York session? Probably move up, continue moving up bullish. What do you advise to some person who's trying to convert skill into money? Oh, that's going to be a byproduct, sir. Don't even worry about it. It's going to take care of itself. It's going to, you know, like the thing is like, it's going to work for itself. The money is going to work on its own. You don't have to do anything about that. So you just focus on the skill. Money's just going to come by itself. Like at some point, you're going to be making so much of it that you can't even keep track of it. You're just gonna do your skill. Focus on the skill. That doesn't even matter. That's the point I'm trying to get across. Like that does not even matter. That's why a lot of people like fail their challenges. You know, when they do funded programs, they're still operating from like a low level energy of understanding money. Understanding skill. Skill is everything. But it starts with the skill. Once you start focusing on the skill, the doors start to open. You're going to open this door, you're going to open the next door. Then you're going to open the next door. That's why what I say, I lost more money in courses than I did in trading. Because I was trying to get through these doors. You know, some people, they're just stuck here banging on the door. Buy or sell, and they're shouting, buy or sell. But you know, why not invest in yourself, invest in education, or invest in just getting 1% better every day? So from that door, you can open to the next door. You know, when you're on the next door, you're not shouting that anymore. You're like, I've leveled up a bit more here, so I'm no longer this guy. Then you start getting better, then you get addicted to opening doors. Then you gotta open the next door, and then you gotta keep getting better. And then the next door, and the next door, and then it becomes like a domino effect. And then all the doors just start like fall behind you like that. But you see, it's like all from a level of energy that you're responding to challenges in your life. Are we trying to get better, or we gotta play the victim? Never play the victim. Especially in the market. Is anyone else waiting for gold to finally drop? Yeah, I think people are, because like gold has moved up already for the pre-London and London. Eventually, it'll need some kind of a retracement. But look at this. From Asia all the way up until London over here. It's just been moving up. It would be nice to have some retracement first and then see price continue to move up bullish. End of the year TP 4,000. Yeah, that's pretty good. 4,000. I can see that happen. End of the year TP. Maybe if you caught the buys during Asia, you could survive it. What's the probability that price comes all the way down here? If it does retrace, where do you think it would retrace to? If I get a sell, it will be like a short-term sell, maybe like, you know, 16 pips. I'll target like 16 pips. Maybe see if I can get like a 2% from it, maybe like 2% move. That would be like a counter trend. You're kind of aggressive, you know. So I would not expect it to move like this. If I get a buy would be much nicer because we can expect a little bit more leg room. If you get a sell, and if it plays out the sell, it could be short-lived. It is a counter trend. So right now, I don't think you got any signals to show you that you should be looking for sells. If the 1 hour close red, any chance for retrace? Let's see, hourly. Yeah, you see, this hourly hasn't had a move yet. You know, it hasn't had its move yet. So it could be a sell. This hourly candle could be a sell. Because if you're going to look back at it in hindsight, and if it closes, let's say, like this, it means that this hourly was just a sell. More than it was a buy, correct? So you're looking to see how can you now catch this hourly. So it just opened up. We're still in a bullish trend right now. Potentially creating the hourly lows before it creates hourly highs. So you still want to wait for structure. This is still too, at least in my opinion, it's still a bit too soon to look for a sell until you see some selling pressure really start to come in. $1.5% down on funded, 3% is breach. Trade more of sleep over it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out here, guys. Gonna head out here. I will see y'all tomorrow for London Open. Love you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. And catch you on the next one. Adios.
No time for this slip, homie. Now we bout to dip.